So we're starting off as Prussia. We form Super Germany in 3 years and unify Europe as the Union of People's Republics in the complete Victoria 3 Russia campaign. Also guys, thank you very much for supporting the channel. I really wanted to get to 215,000 subs by the end of this year. I didn't manage to achieve it, but regardless, sometimes you need to fail in life to realize that you need to improve yourself. And next year, I promise to do way better videos and make the videos more fun and enjoyable for you all to watch. Love you all very much, and I hope you enjoy this run. So, to start it off, we're gonna go to our diplomatic lens, and we're gonna get some new declared interests, cancel the one in England and Nubia. We're gonna get Brazil and Dixie, since we're gonna be rivaling both the Americans and the Brazilians, as well as we're gonna get South Africa and Arabia, since we'll be attacking in those essentially free real estate areas of the world. Since we are at the diplomatic lens, we're gonna do a few more things here. We're gonna request power block embassy in all the nations that are a part of our power block, and they will accept. This is a new interaction in this particular 1.8 Victoria 3 patch, which allows us to get 400 leverage generation, as well as up to 25 relations with these nations. Take note, the nations to the north, namely Oldenburg, Bremen, and Hamburg, will not initially accept this, even if we use obligations, so we will instead have to improve relations and bankroll these nations. And speaking of, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bankroll Austria, Bavaria, Württemberg, Baden, as well as Hanover. We do need more influence points, so we're gonna go ahead and get some rivals. Spain, Ottoman Empire, Netherlands should give us a few more points. We're not gonna rival France just yet because we don't want them to join in political plays against us. So go back here and start bankrolling the northern nations. The good part about bankroll is that it only costs 100 influence to maintain, so we can bankroll all 3 of these and even have enough to spare to bankroll the Russians. We want to do this just so we can get an obligation with them, and so we can also get relations with them, which eventually means that we might be able to get an alliance with the Russians to help us out against the Austrians in the unification play. Technology wise, obviously go for nationalism. We need to have 75% of North and South German nations to have research nationalism in order to unify. So that means those nations that do not research nationalism will have to disappear somehow, if you know what I mean. Now for the construction queue, we have the ability to filter by urban, rural, and development, but we also have the ability to locate which buildings are in Prussia, which ones are outside of Prussia, and by ownership as well. The buildings that are nationally owned, privately owned, foreign owned, and as well the company owned buildings in our country. Right now we have the company Friedrich Krupp, which owns 5 buildings in Westphalia, and this particular company will by itself eventually build more buildings as is needed in this state. Again, a brand new feature from patch 1.8. So for the buildings, I'm going to change the urban center to use gas street lights, which means we have more demand for coal now. We're also going to change the rye farms to self-enrichment farming, which means we're going to get a little bit more grain. We actually start with minus 1,000 grain as the Prussians, so we start with quite a few of our provinces having starving population. That's again a new feature in 1.8, which can lead to famine, and when you have famine, well, let's just say that a lot of your pops will suddenly disappear. We really don't want that to happen, so we need to make sure we build the farms in order to offset this massive shortage of grain. We of course can import some grain from the Russians, from the Dutch, from the Swedish, which we start with the trade agreement with, by the way, so we can import and export all the stuff that we want with the Swedes, and it doesn't cost us any bureaucracy. Now don't forget, we also need to change to standardized filing systems and philosophy department to get a little bit more innovation out of our universities, as well as change to secular administration and secular academia to get more bureaucrats rather than clergymen from these 2 types of buildings. Construction queue is going to be 1 construction sector in Schlesien, only 1. Hear me out. I know it's weird, but hear me out. This is going to be followed by 1 iron mine as well, 1 logging camp, couple more iron mines, and then for the first time in 8 massive updates, we're going to be queuing up rye farms, at least 2 rye farms in every province, as well as at least 2 wheat farms in every province that we have, because if we don't do this, we're actually going to lose pops. It is really, really dreadful. Not having food for your population really will kill you off. The Prussians, unfortunately, in this patch, unless they change this before they release the update, I'm obviously recording this in early access, if nothing changes, food shortages are absolutely brutal. Now, as you can see, we are using a lot of our bankrolls, which means we are paying off a lot of nations, so it's costing us a lot. We're going to go for very high taxation temporarily as consequence, and we're going to add services tax. Because of the very high taxation, we have illegitimate government, so we're going to change it up. We're going to add the petite bourgeoisie and the armed forces in the government, which means we now have access to home affairs change as well as as dedicated police force change. Dedicated police force should pass fairly quick because we have a lot of support. But what we really want is the secret police. That is because it offers -10 political movement activism per level, so you can get up to 50% political movement activism reduction. Plus, with the police coordination level 3, we can increase by another 25 once we have level 5 law enforcement institution. So why is that so important? Well, remember that in this particular update, political movements are the ones that trigger revolutions. So political movements have their core ideology. That means they endorse and they oppose certain laws, as well as they can pressure certain political groups. And the bigger the movement, the more pressure they will exert, as well as the more interest groups they likely will be pressuring. So the way it works is you suppress or you bolster the movement rather than the interest group, which you cannot suppress or bolster anymore. And the movement influences the interest group, not the other way around. Now they have a certain amount of support, which represents the population that supports this, as well as the wealth and the armed forces that support it. And then we have the activism for movements. Activism is influenced by laws that we have enacted, as well as laws that we are enacting. And once activism reaches 100%, we will get a revolution. We're also going to go ahead and upgrade all of our units to cavalry lancers, as well as we're going to make sure we change the name, color code it, and set it by state so we know where exactly that particular regiment originates from. Take note, these lancers are significantly more expensive than your hussars that we're upgrading them from, so they're going to cost iron input, grain, and small arms compared to the 1 grain input that the hussars have. We're also going to be setting the road maintenance, promote social mobility, as well as resource industry, decrease installation, which is basically our primary state right now. But as we're building up the rye farms, we want to switch over the road maintenance decree wherever we're building that particular building, since it increases the construction efficiency a tiny bit, which is better than nothing. It's a bit of a min-max sort of thing. It's up to you, but I personally really enjoy doing that. Make sure you also set up your initial trades. The Russian market usually has a lot of great trades we can get from them, and it even might lead to a trade agreement with Russia, which actually would be a pretty decent agreement, since it means we would get closer to allying them and using them in the war against the Austrians afterwards. So now, in order to get German national identity journal entry finished, we need to have 75% of North or South German primary culture nations having finished research nationalism. That means Baltic Governorate is included in that, because they're also a North German primary culture nation, okay? So that's 30 nations, give or take. The way you can check this is you can do a save game, then you can switch around countries to check what everybody is researching, and then you reload your original save game so you still have your achievements compatible. That being said, in my case, I would be one country short. I would be up to 74.1% of nations having research nationalism in 1839. So it means I need to wipe out one German nation. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna choose Schaun Lippe. An easy way to get rid of them is by expelling diplomats, and then that lowers our relations with them enough so we can conquer the state. It's only 4.5 infamy, so it's really cheap. It's better to just do this earlier in the campaign when nobody gets involved. Hey, look at that. We also managed to get a trade agreement with the Russians as expected. So let's go ahead and redo our trade with them. All right, Schönborg Lippe, you shall be destroyed for your insolence of not getting nationalism. Don't you want us to just be friends? Come on. Why would you not research nationalism? Explain that to me. Don't forget to also get your education and law enforcement institution levels to level 3, since we have a lot of extra bureaucracy from the 20% bureaucracy that we get for middle managers trait of the petite bourgeoisie. We also get minus 20% loan interest rate. Oh, no way. Freaking Denmark accepted liberation of Schleswig-Holstein. I wanted to attack them, liberate Schleswig and Holstein, and then afterwards puppet the Danes. But now we gotta wait until 41 before we can puppet them. So we gotta wait until we become Super Germany in order to puppet the Danes. Attacking Denmark early on is honestly a no-brainer too, because they don't usually get support from anyone, whilst the French are busy in Africa, the British are busy in Qing, and the Ottomans, I noticed, a lot of the time start getting involved in wars in the Middle East, especially now since they have the Egyptians a part of their power block, and the Egyptians start as a protectorate of the Ottomans in this patch, which means that the Ottomans are also really powerful compared to previous patches, and they do their Tanzimats. Both AI does their Tanzimats a lot more, and you as a player will have a much easier time doing your Tanzimats now. Now I am going to be attacking Lippe too, because I'm not sure if Scharnswood Lippe is enough. I think I might need to wipe out Lippe and Waldeck too. I'll be honest, I counted like 6 or 5 nations that were not doing nationalism, and I think I need just one, but just to be on the safe side, I'm murdering 2 of them so we don't have issues later. And also because my math skills are horrible, but that's aside from the point. Okay, here you have have the truth, all right? I'm not good with mathematics. Are you happy now? All right, now that should really have fixed our issues, though. And it means we can now start focusing on South Africa, where Gaza awaits to be wiped out by us. It's literally just free real estate, guys. It really is free real estate. And look, we got one unit and a separate army, which is exactly what we need to invade Gaza. Take note, guys, we're getting a ton of activism because we are enacting secret police. Look at that, plus 75%. So it's best if we finish enacting this before we actually start getting a revolution brewing, because that's going to be an issue. Huzzah, we got Lorenzo Marquez. I always think of Lorenzo Lamas when I'm invading this province. You know, the actor, like, famous in the 90s. When I was a kid, my mom used to love watching movies with him. I think she was in love with Lorenzo Lamas. I don't know why. I don't know why. Now, the main reason we took Lorenzo Lamas is because we want to attack Transvaal and Orange, but both of them right now are guaranteed by the British. They start with the guarantee from the British. Hey, looks like we can invite Hamburg to our power block. That's awesome. So we just need to invite a couple more in the north now, including Holstein, actually. I forgot to start improving relations with them. Oh, we got our obligation with the Russians. We can call them in the war against the Austrians. It's Jover for Austria. We can stop bankrolling them. Now, take note, Lorenzo Lamas here does not have market access. It is a zero market access because it doesn't have a port connecting it to the rest of our country. So we have to build a port in here eventually. The London conference is also here, and apparently 3 people already voting for Dutch claims. So it's pretty much settled that the Dutch are going to get the lands from the Belgians now, unfortunately. Also, we built quite a few farms. We actually gained 500 grain, but it's still not enough. So we have to queue up even more farms. But we got a lot of iron shortage and tools and paper. So we queued up some iron. We're also going to queue up 1 paper mill as well as 2 tooling workshops in Westphalia. We're doing the paper mill in Westphalia and the tooling workshops because we have already sulfur in here, which will be used for the paper mills, and we have steel, which is used for the tooling workshops. So it bypasses any sort of market access price impact from having to import these goods into the state from another state. Yay! We also managed to get secret police. Halla freaking Luya. This also gives political strength to the officers plus 25%. So it's a pretty big leap for us. 1839 September. We're very close to getting that unification. We have massive shortages of tools, which is why we're building a couple of tooling workshops, but we have queued up a few pages of barracks because we're trying to get as much artillery as possible. And in case you're wondering, the revolution did not go away because the way it works in this patch, once you have a high amount of activism for your political movement, even though you do not have the particular legislation enacted anymore, the progress will slowly tick down after you pass the legislation. And speaking of, we should probably go for dedicated police force now. I forgot about that. So yeah, in essence, this takes a little bit of time, but it will eventually go down. Look at that. Next tick is going to go down by minus 10% progress. Once it reaches 70%, or I think 75%, it just disappears if I'm not mistaken. Hello, German national identity. We have the North German Federation. Journal entry. All right, so that means we go to Journal, National Formation, Germany, and we can launch a leadership play. Before we do that, let's go ahead and make the Belgians our rivals so we get enough influence points so we can get the alliance with the Russians. Use obligation. Boom. Alliance, Spadayans, as they say in Russian. That's totally Russian in case you're wondering. Back to Journal, Nation Formation, launch leadership play, mobilize all the units, bring them to the front line, and get as many conscripts as possible too. Of course, mix in mobile artillery as well as regular units in there. And let's get some decent generals. I don't really see any decent ones here. Yeah, whatever I can get my hands on, I guess. Luxembourg wants me to support their independence. Sure, Luxembourg, whatever you want. Oh, and we have the resolution for the London conference. It is absolutely disgusting. What the hell just happened? This is the worst Belgian borders I've seen ever. There you go. We can now call in our ally, Zeroshans. Before we even start the war, we need to make sure we have designated strategic objective, the Viennese capital of Austria. And we're also going to cancel all of these barracks. We really don't need any more than the ones we already have, since we managed to get the Russians on our side. Plus, we don't want to be constructing anything for a while during this war, because right now, we're not in the best economic situations, are we, unfortunately? Looks like they also have fearful as their confidence level, so there's a slight chance they might back up. Literally, the only reason I went for only German leadership is because they might back up. Otherwise, I would have added a few extra things, but looks like my gamble didn't really pay off, and they did not, unfortunately, back up. Oh, let's go to war, and let's push. Push, 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 push. Come on, give me a battle in the Viennese area, please. I'd appreciate that. Let's also get military assistance for our little North German Federation puppets here, future integrated members, actually. Also, pretty important, don't forget to make sure you got your very high military wages on. which will help a lot with getting some more morale recovery, as well as let's cancel all of these bad trades. That should give us back a lot of money, actually. And let's just do one trade for the Russians. There you go. We gained like 8,000 ducats from canceling those silly trades we had. Defensive pack with Saxe Coburg Gotha. Sure, it's not like you're gonna be around for too much longer, but yeah, okay, I'll take it. Oh, actually, I can also go police coordination, and we can get it to level 3, which means we get even more authority now, which we can use again for decrees. And look at that, they are willing to accept German leadership, propose the deal, pause, and now we're gonna get the German leadership North German Federation event. There you go. This makes us the leaders of all the free world. Clearly, this is how democracy works, right? We just integrate everybody and they're all democracy now. That being said, Austria has antagonistic attitude towards us. However, once we do form North German Federation, they get genial attitude towards us. Not sure why. Maybe it's because we technically are a new nation. We're not Prussia anymore. But whatever the case, that is the reason why we can form Super Germany, because they want to vote for us as the new Germany. I've also changed my production methods around a little bit, which means we now have a lot more money. Look at this. We went up by 50,000 in budget, so we can actually start building things again. Cancel some of the unproductive trades as well. We inherit all the trades from the previous German nations, and it looks like fertilizers and tools are our biggest bane, so we're gonna start spamming 5 tooling workshops and 2 more fertilizers in Westphalia. If we had kids, Westphalia would be our favorite kid for sure. Okay, now I got all of my production stuff in order, so let's go to journal, nation formation, Germany, and there you go. Austria's voting for us. We have 55 points from them. We also got everybody else that matters, so we just click form Germania, all hail the king, or we can get claims on Alsace-Lorraine as well as Schleswig. I actually don't mind the claims. It's a little bit better than the authority because the authority is temporary. It's only for as long as we have the king. And there you go, boys. 1840, October 8th. Could have been September 1840 if I didn't take the time to fix all my buildings, which actually I gotta fix again. I just realized because we got new provinces now. But yeah, that is basically 3 years unification of Germany. Fastest unification of Germany imaginable. Of course, we still have achievements. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and fix our country here. We got to get the best production methods because we are going to be skyrocketing like crazy. We have 35 million GDP. We are 3rd after India and Qing, so we're going to be insanely overpowered with this particular start. Honestly, version 1.8 made Germany the most insane nation possible. Well, made Prussia and Austria. Technically, now after changing all of these production methods, we're up to 465,000 national revenue, which is just ridiculous, man. Let's go back to medium taxation. I don't want to tax that much my population. We're gonna leave government wages and military wages on medium also. And now it's also time to rearrange our armies. We have a lot of armies that we inherited from Austria. Also, if you guys want to get the save game, I'm gonna have a few bookmarks with the initial 1836 save, as well as we progress a few more saves, and even after, because we're continuing this, of course. If you're interested in that, you'll find it on my Patreon, as well as if you become a channel member. Link in description for both of those. We have some areas where we don't have enough of government administration, so we're gonna spam 5 of them for now in Schlesien, 1 in Transdanubia, and 1 in Bohemia, as well as we need some in Saxony, but Saxony really needs infrastructure. Let's still spam 1. We are doing right now 1 railway in Saxony, which should help out with that. We also need to get a motor industry, which we have yet to build. We're gonna do 1 in Westphalia. We're gonna need motor industry to switch over to trams for the public transport, as well as to get these railways around the country, because now we actually have some market access issues. Not only is it Saxony, but a few other states. Look at this. Hesse also has 98 market access, which is no bueno. Let's also upgrade all of our units to skirmishers, and I'm gonna do something that's maybe a little bit controversial. I'm actually gonna be disbanding some of my lancer units. I don't need that many lancers. Honestly, like 5 lancers per army is enough in my opinion. So I'm gonna do exactly that. I'm gonna disband everything that's above 5. Look at this. Like, they got 36 lancers. We really do not need 36 lancers, bro. Armies should primarily be a mix-up of infantry and artillery. If anything, you might only have just infantry and artillery and have a separate army where you have your cavalry if you really want to be super efficient. But I like to roleplay as well, so that's why I'm keeping 5 lancers in the actual armies themselves. Beautiful. Now we don't need to worry about any sort of political strength for the Junkers. They're down to 15 clout, which is basically nothing. I managed to get the rural folk in my government. We have a little bit of a peasants movement here that is slightly getting more and more power, I guess. We have a lot of movements now, actually, by the way. We have Slovak, Ukrainian, Romanian national movement, Croatian, all of that courtesy of the previous Austrian Empire, of course. That being said, we're gonna gonna try and switch for homesteading now. If this passes, what we're gonna do next is gonna be racial segregation, because with this particular patch, the way that your pops works is completely different. We have 5 tiers of society, with full acceptance being the primary citizens. And then we get second-class citizens, and that's usually people that have a culture closer to ours, as well as a religion closer to ours. If we go to cultures, we see that what makes up our second-class citizens is not necessarily only the culture they have, but also the religion. Religion itself can also give 20 if they're Protestant, 15 if they're Catholic, and so on. So changing both church and state and citizenship legislation is what you need to do to have more integrated pops. Remember that every single tier of the new society system has its own benefits and cons, of course, with the lowest tier, the violent suppression or violent hostility tier, being the worst, obviously. We want to make sure all of our people go from this tier to the next tier and next and next until eventually everybody is a fully accepted citizen of our nation. Also, we seem to have a pretty sizable shortage of munitions too, so let's get a couple of munitions actually. We got a couple of gold mines. Where's that? Tyrol! Oh my god. The famous EU4 Tyrol mine is here. Sadly, it's only a level 2 gold mine, so it'd be like that. And even with all the fertilizer plants we built, we still need more, really. Don't get me wrong, I am definitely not complaining about that. You know what I'm gonna do actually? I'm gonna build a couple of these. I'll click 2 of them in Schlesien, because we have also some sulfur mines there, and we can do 4 more in Westphalia afterwards. Bring these back up at the top of the queue, because they're almost finished building, of course. And seeing as we have 0 infamy, guys, absolutely 0, no infamy, we're gonna make sure all the proper German countries will join us. That means we're gonna be taking Switzerland, we're gonna take in the Danes whenever the truce is over, which is now. We can attack Denmark, actually. Kind of feels bad that I couldn't take Schleswig at the start of the campaign, since they backed out of that freaking deal. But hey, it'd be like that sometimes. Also, make sure we add war reparations, and let's add some units by the border with them now. Oh, come on, Denmark. Really? Bruh. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. I just realized I've been having this guarantee independence on Belgium for a long time. Gonna cancel that. We obviously don't care about Belgium's feelings at all. And we're gonna turn our eyes on the brave Swiss people that would love to join the German Confederation. Why am I getting the feeling that this particular law is gonna be a lot more difficult to pass than I imagined? Let's go Switzerland. Seeing as we're getting 75,000 extra revenue on medium taxation, it's time to expand our construction sectors too. We're gonna get some more in Schlesien. Second company, we're gonna go for a company that would help us industrialize a little bit faster, which would clearly be the Silesia Premium Metals. Not only does it give us company construction bonus, which affects iron mines and lead mines, which means iron mines and lead mines are going to be getting this 77% construction bonus, but they also get the throughput bonus, so they produce 62% more. It is wild. It is absolutely wild the way that companies are so overpowered in this patch, in my opinion. Switching to Besma processes literally saved our asses, because we had like a 400 shortage of steel. Now we're down to 200, which is a massive improvement, actually. Speaking of improvements, another thing I like about this patch is that you can check from the budget screen the GDP ownership map, as well as global ownership, so you can see around the world as well, and national ownership as well. So check it out. For us, Silesia and Westphalia is the main contributors to our GDP. Oh, France formed the Supreme Alliance. Ho ho! It is time, however, to attack the French to take back Alsace-Lorraine, our beautiful Alsace-Lorraine. It's been in French hands for far too long. I don't even know what they've been doing with it, but I'm not happy about it, okay? We're also gonna take war reparations from them. And you know what? Just for the memes, I'm gonna liberate Brittany. I'm gonna liberate Brittany. I don't need to liberate Brittany. I just want to. What? They back down? That is very typical French. The only thing missing is for them to change their flag to white. Am I right? Look at that. 1 million GDP, 1.15 million population. All of them are Germans. Well, most of them are. 200,000 French only. If this law doesn't go to consideration, next tick, I'm just going to cancel it. We already have 2 setbacks. I want to get homesteading, but I feel like it's never going to happen. All right, let's go ahead now and attack for Luxembourg, which again is a rightful German clay. Everybody knows Luxembourg is supposed to be ours, okay? Oh, we've officially become the second great power when it comes to GDP and overall prestige as well. Wait, population, we're third? We have 70 million pops. That is insane, my dude. I didn't realize we got that many people. Holy snaps. That's a lot of radicals though. 9 million radicals ain't bueno. And we failed homesteading. Bro, I hate this. I hate this so much. I wasted so many years on homesteading. I cannot believe it. Let's go for racial segregation. Hopefully this one passes. We only have the rural folks supporting it, and we don't have that much support for the rural folks, so it's debatable whether it's going to pass or not. In order to get the third principle, we really need more nations in our power block, and I see a couple of them right by the border with me, right in the hands of the bad guy in our lands. We don't want the Ottomans to own Wallachia or Moldova, so I'm going to attack them. They're minor powers, and minor powers give me +1 mandate progress. Sir, are you going to liberate us? I wouldn't say liberate. I would probably say more like under new management, eh? And I am going to liberate Bulgaria, bring our troopers by the border with them. I just realized we need a lot more artillery pieces for our units now. Let's go! For freedom! For peace! I'm totally doing this for the well-being of Balkan people. Totally, guys, totally. I'm the good guy here, trust me. I'm gonna write the history books, you'll see. Oh my god, look at the advantage here. 50 advantage on the Ottomans, bruh. I'm curious if the British have any demands. They don't! Okay, so that means once they get tired of me, they can actually piece us out. I don't need to worry about the British then. I'm also, check it out, getting increase in revenue as I am at war. We're on 500,000 revenue in 1846, bro. A medium taxation. What the hell, brother? Our shortages are serious though. So let's get going with fixing those shortages then, shall we? 4 tooling workshops, and let's get a lot of coal mines. I think we queued up a few already, but we're gonna queue up 13 of them in Silesia. And I've decided to make Saxony my main paper producing state. I'm gonna get 6 paper mills here because Saxony also has a lot of sulfur mines which we can use in the production of paper. And also we have a lot of issues with convoys. We're getting raided and it's not good for us. We're gonna need to get some more ports as consequence to help get more convoys. Even after the war's over, this is gonna be doubling down on the benefits because getting more convoys also means we get more trade route competitiveness, which would give more priority to our trade routes. All right, England, get out of my lands. Oh no, we have our first famine. Where is it? Where's the famine? In Lorenzo Marcus? No. Where is it? I'm actually confused. Let me see. Oh, it's Yemen. Yemen's starving. Oh no, Yemen. Let's check how many of our population will get more accepted now that we've got racial segregation. So we got people that will be promoted. We have 30 million right now that are second-class citizens. I doubt too many of them will become full acceptance, but we got 2 million open prejudice, and I kind of assume maybe 500,000 of them eventually will become second-class citizens. 800,000 for the 5th year. So as long as you are Alemannic and you're also Protestant, you have 90 acceptance, for example, because that's 70 plus 20, 90 acceptance in essence. If you're any of the Europeans and you're Protestant, you got 70 acceptance, or 65 if you're Catholic or Orthodox. I actually feel like this system of society and acceptance and assimilation is 10 times better than the old system because it means that population will start getting assimilated a lot faster. All right, I'm gonna invite another agitator who supports the peasants movement just so we get more support for homesteading. We're still really struggling with passing homesteading, but I'm a little bit hopeful that Frangiskos Konstantinikos is gonna help us out a lot more. In the meanwhile, we can try and pass some other legislation. Of course, we start with directly one setback. Why would we ever have an easy time passing legislation? I can unify Germany with Austria in 4 years, but I cannot freaking pass colonialism, brother. Come on, Ottomans. Without Britain's help, you're basically just potato lords, aren't you? And that's 2 setbacks back to back. That's just lucky, guys. That's actually what luck looks like. We also can decrease the autonomy of Switzerland straight to puppet because in this patch, you go from protectorate to puppet directly and then we can annex them afterwards. No more dominion. And look at that. Economic dependence on us is 0.22, which is insane. I don't even need to use any of my overlord actions to be able to just integrate the Swiss. Can I know why the Ottomans haven't started losing war support? Like, I'm pretty sure my war goals are all of them taken. Was it just the province of Bati Trakia or whatever this is called? Okay, they're about to give up. The landscape of Europe is gonna change in 3, 2, 1. There you go. That was perfectly timed, by the way. Yep, Bosnia's back on the map. Bulgaria's back on the map. Moldova and Wallachia have better leadership. I'm gonna reduce their autonomy simply because I can, but I'm a better leader than they are. I'm just gonna say it. The Ottomans were the bad guys. We're the good people here, okay? We're clearly, in a good way, improving the lives of our subjects. See, I'm even banning slavery in their country. That's how great of a leader I am. And of course, this failed. Let's try with public health insurance. Hopefully this passes. I would really like to get public health insurance. Brave Moldovans not backing up like those pussies in France, which backed up Alsace-Lorraine. Just pointing out, it means Moldovan people are more brave than the French are, clearly. There you go. Now they are a puppet as well. Well, would you look at that? We managed to get public health insurance, so we can go over to our institutions now, and we can start getting this upgraded to level 5 eventually. We need a lot more bureaucracy. It costs us 700 bureaucracy per level of institution, so we're gonna need to spam some more government administration buildings. We have the economy to sustain it. We currently are getting 600,000 almost on medium taxation. Of course, after we take the gold mines in Orange and Transvaal, the next target is gonna be Argentina, which right now is still pretty cheap. 8.6 infamy to make Argentina our puppet is really a no-brainer. It's also an amazing escape plan for our tourists. I mean, our tourists can go and have an Argentinian escape in after a hard day's work. So apparently only Orange discovered gold fields. Transvaal has yet to discover them, but we actually have nitroglycerin, so we have a percentage chance of discovering the gold mines now. Also, despite all of my trade for grain and all the farms I built, we still have grain freaking shortage, so I have to go ahead and queue up again a ton of farms. I think what we really need though is just a lot more construction sectors, to be honest, guys. We can probably sustain 1,000 construction sectors in 1852 if we really were to min-max right now. Also, check it out. Sidamo is the one that's winning the Ethiopian war. That is a surprise. I've never seen Sidamo survive in general. Bosnia-Herzegovina wants me to host an embassy. Oh, that's so cool. We can actually add them to our power block. They actually want to accept being a part of our power block. There you go. We just got a new power block member. I'm guessing we're going to be able to do the same with the Bulgarians. They do absolutely love us for good reason. We gave them their independence, right? Invite to power block. And Daria, go boys. Oh, Argentina back down. Come on. Really, you wussies? Kind of looking forward to it because I would have been able to fight Chile in the same war because they're allied to one another. You know what? Maybe Chile's not going to back down though. Let's see. Because if they don't back down, then we can also get a bit of war reparations. And apparently Chile does not have slavery, so I guess just war reparations. They are fearful though, and for good reason. Okay, let's go ahead and standardize filing cabinets and everything else too. Dude, we're down to minus 2,000 grain now. Come on, really? What is up with this? Oh, I think I realized. It's because I've been adding nations to my power block, and most of these nations that I've been adding do not actually have any sort of farming industry, as I like to call it, right? Yeah, that makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. All right, well, it's just me against the Chileans now, so let's attack Yes Maximus, go for their capital here, and look at this now. We're at 677,000 national revenue on medium taxation and 1 million on very high, which is just ridiculous. But 1853 getting 1 million income is just wild, bro. This is by far my most favorite run so far. All right, we're kicking some Chilean ass as well. I'm kind of getting a taste for South America. I was gonna leave them alone, but considering how easy it is to just attack everybody in South America, I feel like maybe I should continue adding these nations to the great Zollverein power block, which is a union of friends, really. That's really all it is. Now, for our next principle, of course, we're going advanced research, which we want to turn eventually into research 3. That's going to give us a lot more innovation cap. I'm basically like a jackal. I've attacked Ecuador because they don't have any actual allies right now. If I was to attack Peru, Bolivia, aside from it being a little bit more infamy, it also would mean that the Americans would join in. So I'm going to attack the easy to have puppets first, and then after that's done, we can go for the bigger wars against the United States and whatever else we need to attack, right? Oh my god, we got laissez-faire. Check out how fast our assets are going to increase now, because all of our nationally owned buildings will get privatized, and we have a buttload of nationally owned buildings. So we're going to explode economically now. I'm going to start getting more construction sectors just to match up with that, and I'm going to get the Silesia Premium Metals, a new company which affects coal mines, sulfur mines, as well as it gives fertilizer throughput. So it's overall exactly what we need right now. Now, that being said, I'm also going to attempt to get free trade, which would be amazing because that would mean we get even more trade routes and become even more filthy rich in the process. Look at this, boys. We got 12 million in gold reserves, and we barely even sold any of our nationally owned buildings. We still have a ton. So yeah, we probably should double down and get more construction sectors now. We are the world's greatest power by GDP, and population wise, we are third after the Indians and Qing still, but I'm confident we can overtake them if we take a few provinces here and there which might have some pops of their own. And now we just managed to get the 3rd tier for advanced research, so let's check it out. We can have up to 173 innovation. That is actually perfect. We can queue up a few more universities then. Also, I've noticed in this patch, Central America does not collapse as much as it does in previous patches. This is like the 6th run I've done in which they actually survived and even even thrived for that matter. They're up to 3 million GDP and 2 million pops, which is not bad for them, at least. I'm gonna rush for civilizing mission since it's gonna give me minus 25% infamy against unrecognized powers. That's also why I have not really been attacking anyone in the past couple of years, because I'm waiting for this technology so I can attack more people as long as they're unrecognized. Also, of course, we're queuing up mutual funds after, one of the best technologies, by the way, because of the fact that it allows us to change to publicly traded our financial district. As my fourth tier, I went for freedom of movement, which means eventually once we get this up to level 3, we will get so many migrants coming into Germany that we don't even need to attack anyone. We just get people arriving in our country. Oh, dude, check this out. Because they're loyal and because of the difference in military power, they are actually accepting the manual autonomy reduction, and now they have become a puppet of ours without even fighting against us, bruh. 800,000 on medium revenue and 1.2 on high, very high. Oh, we cracked 100 million. Let's go, baby. Oh my god, Bohemia has 1 million pops we can use. Okay, we're gonna build 30 textile mills in Bohemia, and we're gonna need a bit more paper mills because we have some shortages of paper. So let's get 5 more in Saxony. Let's check, go back to market. Paper 400 reduction, furniture a lot of reduction. So again, we have 20 queued up, but just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna queue up a few more in Transylvania. You know what? We can make Transylvania our main furniture producing state. Why not? I think we've reached that point in the campaign where we can start having dedicated states for certain things. And then, of course, we also need to just have a crap load of wood. So we need to queue up a lot more logging camps. We definitely do not have that many logging camps. We need a lot of logs. Holy shit. We need at least probably 4,000 logs just in the next few years to keep up with the industrial output that's going to continue to increase and increase. Also, let's make sure that we have the railway built in Brandenburg. Apparently, we do not have a railway in our freaking capital, guys. Come on. We also need a lot more government administration buildings. And look at that. We have shortages of government administration buildings in Westphalia and Schleswig. So we can do that now. That's going to help us a lot because we can increase our institution levels once we get more bureaucracy too. Especially if we get law enforcement level 5. We can get an extra 100 authority. And then, of course, health system also helps with reducing mortality by up to 20% on level 4, as well as getting standard of living and so on. And then again, home affairs, as I said in the previous part of this campaign, which you can find a link to in this description, we can get up to 40% political movement activism. So that means that we're going to get basically no rebellions from any of these movements afterward. We do have some really, really bad agitators. I'm going to have to arrange an accident. Oh no. Oh, I misclicked, guys. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to arrange that accident. We also have a lot of gold reserve. We're up to 11 million in gold reserves, and we're still making money. Look at that. It's going up despite having minus 77,000 because we're just privatizing a lot of our buildings, which in turn means that money gets added to the gold reserves whenever we sell those particular buildings. So technically, we could probably increase our construction sectors by quite a little bit. Let's say max it out in Saxony for now, and maybe get a few more in the Ruhr because we have a little bit more pops here as well. And look at that. We even got some more gold mines. That's quite literally free money. That's why I love Transvaal, boys. That's why I love them. So our armies right now don't have the best of army composition. I'm gonna need at least 40 more artillery for each of these 4 main armies that we're using in Europe. Then I also have an expeditionary force which is located in Arabia for now. I'm gonna need some artillery pieces for this army as well, but I'm gonna prioritize the big boys. So let's slowly start building this up. We can get, say, 10 artillery pieces for each of the armies for now, and then increase it afterwards more. We're not gonna have any major wars just yet, but just in case we will at some point, we want to be ready for that. By the way, we can form Central Europe if we want, but I'd rather do that a little bit later, not now, because if we do that, we also annex any subject we might have within these particular borders. So if we puppet the Danes and sorry, not the Danes, the Dutch. I'm sorry, Dutch people, I didn't mean to call you Danes, my apology. And we puppet the Belgians, then we will eventually be annexing them without having to pay the infamy for that, right? And for those wondering in the video, who am I talking to, Ludi? Are you going crazy? No, I'm recording this live on Twitch. You want to be a part of those recording sessions, link is in the description. All right, I'm going to be attacking the Danes now since we have no more truce with them, and I have a strategic interest in making them my little schnappel-dude. Oh, we can decrease autonomy of Ecuador and Chile. I'm okay for now. They have a defensive pact with it. That is the weirdest, by far weirdest alliance I've seen ever. Like, why? Like, actually, why? Does Burma actually have any good resources? Maybe I can puppet them as well. They have dyes, opium plantations, a couple in here. They got some iron. They got a gold mine, another gold field. Okay, now we're talking. Yeah, I gotta wait to get an interest in there in order to puppet them. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get that interest in time. Let's see. Fingers crossed we get it in time so we can actually puppet the... Oh, come on, Denmark. You freaking wussies, man. This entire campaign, the Danes have backed up out of every single freaking political play against me. Oh my god, we're still getting freaking reserve, dude. We're at 12 million. Okay, let's get even more construction sectors. Oh my dude, bro. Oh, let me get some in Bohemia, actually. We got a lot of population in Bohemia that we can use. I'm gonna need some railways, though, because Bohemia also needs a lot of railways. Oh, we're so close to getting freedom of movement 3, which is gonna be a big change. We're gonna get so many migrants afterwards. Not like we need pops right now. We still have 11 million peasants that we need to, you know, give jobs to, and unemployed people 1 million too that we need to give jobs to. So let's get more construction sectors. It's crazy how many we need. Okay, not adding any more construction sectors because I need to check after this what's my balance of iron and tools, right? Because we had a few extra before, but now we should be able to... I think we need to start getting more iron and tools at this point. Let's go for commercialized agriculture first, because it is supported by the industrialists, and we still have temporarily the industrialists in our government. We can increase this a little bit if we get the petit bourgeoisie as well. That would be nice. That means we also get loan interest rate minus 20% and 20% increase in bureaucracy, right? I think it's time we start changing some of the consumption taxes. We can add a luxury clothes tax, and I actually would like to do a coffee tax because we do have a lot of people drinking coffee, right? 1 million, boys. 1 million Dukatensteiner. On medium taxation, by the way. I'm the biggest idiot in the world. I just realized why I was not getting enough grain. I wasn't on the right production method with my wheat farms, guys, or with my millets for that matter. Now we should have quite a little bit of grain extra. Yep, a fuck ton of grain extra. Okay, temporarily we can change some of these back to soil enrichment, right? Until we get some more fertilizer plants going. But yeah, it just goes to show that sometimes you got to pay attention to what you're doing. I guess we just spam 25 in, no, 20. I like round numbers. 25 is fine in Saxony. That should cover us for all the new farms. Whatever can come out of researching pan-nationalism, right, chat? I'm also gonna queue up philosophical pragmatism because I get 10 more maneuvers per diplomatic play, so we can take more stuff from nations, essentially. Let's stay away from socialism, though. Okay, we also should start switching to steel frame buildings, actually. So let me see what my balance is for steel and glass. We actually have a little bit of steel. What about glass? We don't have much glass, but we have a lot of steel, so we can probably get a couple of these done. Let's say switch over the smaller ones to steel frame building. There you go. That also lowered the requirement for iron, so we don't have an iron shortage anymore. After I finish these fertilizer plants, I can start doing some glass workshops and some more steel mills and change all of my construction sectors to steel frame. I guess that should be my priority right now. It's also time that we survey the Panama Isthmus and do a few more journal entries. We're gonna need some more government administration buildings as consequence now. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to get both the Panama Canal and the Suez Canal before anybody else does, right? One thing I regret is not going for colonialism. I feel like that would have helped me expand a lot faster, getting some colonies around the world. Embargo against the French. Okay, easy done. These guys want to be a protectorate. All right, and we got the very last principle for our trade league becoming, in essence, the greatest trade league ever, boys, ever. I'm gonna make Austria my main glass producing state. Gonna get 30 glass in here, and I'm gonna keep all of these as just glass. I'm not gonna produce ceramics as well. I'm only gonna produce glass. Did I say grass? Hey, we got commercialized agriculture. Who's better than tenant farmer? It's time that we get compulsory primary education. Far too long have our kids been the main source of Apple iPhones. Far too long have we not paid them. It's time we educate them so they know they're being exploited now. What's the point of having kids if you cannot make them work in the mines? See, that's the kind of thinking I like. This is why I like to stream when I'm recording, because you get a lot of big brain ideas from you. Panama survey is complete. Okay, let's see. Make them a suitable offer. Yes, make them a suitable offer. How about we acquire some land from you? Oh, they gave me the land. Yippee-yi-yo, skippy-yi, skippy-yay. I wish this had something else except for 100 prestige and 20 migration attraction. I really wish it had, like, I don't know, anything else, man. Give us something from this. Give us, like, somebody in chat said, give a company from the Panama Canal. That would be a nice thing. Hold on a second. Does it actually give you a company? I knew that. I was just trying to see if you guys knew that it gives you a company, okay? I totally knew that. Come on. Yeah, the Panama Canal. We need to have the canal built and 50% occupancy. I knew it does that. I totally knew. I've only been playing this game. I knew that. I knew that. Making these big changes in production methods can be costly, guys. It can be very costly, but it's also going to be really, really worth it, okay? That's why the shortage of explosives and coal might seem like a big deal. It is a big deal, but once we fix it, and we can fix it very easily, it's going to scale up our economy so much it's ridiculous. ridiculous. The main problem with this is that it's going to make a lot of people pissed off. So we're going to have a lot more radicals because they are changing their jobs and so on. Maybe their standard of living decreases as a consequence a little bit, but they'll be fine. They'll come back to being regular citizens after they realize they don't have actually a choice, because this is not actually a democracy. We've identified Saxony as the place which will get construction sector building throughput plus 10% for the rest of the campaign. That is new, and that's also really awesome because it means now we can make Saxony a super state. Hey, look, we finally went to consideration phase. They decided after 50,000 freaking ticks they want to go to consideration phase. We're gonna need to get ready to have a lot more bureaucracy because this is gonna give us 2 max education institution levels, which we really want to push for ASAP, right? Because that essentially means we're gonna get 70% assimilation, so we can get people converted to German a little bit faster. What is up with that flag, 2 Sicilies? Ew. Let's see which one of our subjects is disloyal. So these guys are pretty disloyal, but if we increase their economic dependence on us, they're going to be a lot more loyal. So what we could do is we can check what exactly we could build here that would actually support us a little bit. Oh, cotton plantations. We need fiber, right? Westphalia's got more GDP than most nations in the world. General advancement speed and siege artillery offense. That is actually insane. Skoda work. Oh, we can also maybe go for the Österreich Waffenfabrikgesellschaft. I know I pronounced that perfectly, didn't I? This is 5% defense. That's actually really big too, but it only affects arms industries and artilleries. I don't know. And we need to, in order to get this, we need to have an armed industry level 3 in Austria state. I think I'm gonna go for the Skoda works. Skoda is definitely a little bit better, and it's established in Schlesien. Oh, it's actually in Schlesien. It's not in Bohemia. Interesting. I didn't know that. Compulsory primary education. Yes, sir. Arigato. We need 1,600 bureaucracy. We are not even close to having that right now. But we will be once we finish the Suez Canal, which is taking up 1,000 of our bureaucracy. We just need about 800, 900 more, though. Also, it's always a good idea to check which one of your states has some tax issues when you build your government administration buildings, or potentially will have some in the nearby future because they're growing in population massively, like Westphalia and Saxony are right now. And there you have it. Suez has been done. We're going to make them a suitable offer because we all know the Egyptians love us. Fire Sinai, there you go. They gave it to me. Yeah, baby. Go. Build it up. Boom shakalaka. Get a port in here as well. Far too long have the Belgian people and the French mocked us. Far too long have they called us names. It's time that we take back Belgium and restore the holy Romanist of the holiest empirist. Why does this general have a top hat? Is this Tom? Are we fighting Tom? Wait a second. Tom and Jerry. That makes so much sense, guys. Tom was the British because of the Tommy. Jerry was the Germans because of German Jerry. Oh my god. This whole time it was staring right in front of us, guys. This whole freaking time. Cannot believe nobody realized that. I'm the first person ever to realize that. The Greeks want us to invest in their country. Isn't that new, guys? Isn't that? I'm actually curious to see what the GDP map looks like. National GDP. Look at that. Look at that. Westphalia is ahead of everything. Now, global GDP. Again, Westphalia is really shining, guys. It's absolutely shining. It's right up there with the Bengali state. Britain was at 58 million when I was at 120. I went up by 30 million and they went up by 1. What, bro? I'm sorry. Wallachians are kicking French ass? Really? Wow. The cool part about this is that I have not conscripted a single unit, right? So I'm just chilling here waiting for the French to destroy their freaking population. When they're done pushing, I'll push and just take everything I want. Or, bro, I'm talking about destruction of France. You fuckers capitulate. Really? I had a whole plan over here, man. Secession in Dixie. Oh my god. Time to help the United States against their foes. Actually, nobody wants my help, so they're like disinterested. They're like, nope, don't care. Huzzah, Belgium is ours. Yay. Rejoice, everybody. The good guys won this time. What? Who said that? So, yeah, we went from 14 million assets reserves to 3 million in credit right now. Suffice to say, switching to steel frame kind of took its toll on it. We're recovering. We're getting better. Not to worry. Not to worry. That whole minus 3,000 bureaucracy is also a little bit of a pain. Ecuador would just flat out accept. Sure, Ecuador. Thank you. Look at that. The petit bourgeoisie loves us again. We gained the 20% bureaucracy. We're not doing so bad anymore, guys. Come on. Oh my god, we finally went to consideration phase with landed voting after like 1,000 failed attempts. And yes, we're also attacking Sardinia, Piedmont. It's rightful German clay Sardinia. Everybody knows. It's common knowledge. And this is also the war in which we're liberating basically half of Russia here. Hell yeah, baby. From Poland to Ukraine to Belarus and Bessarabia. Na 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 I don't know the lyrics, but it's a liberation time for Eastern Europe. And I'm totally not doing this because I'm gonna attack them and make them my subjects afterward. Totally not. It's not because of that, I swear. A victory against socialism. Oh, 5 legitimacy. That is actually gonna come in handy big time. And the loyalists from political movements increase is also gonna come in handy. Hey, we're approaching 200 million, guys. Check it out. With the funk so brother. Oh, the Russians actually send units to defend against us in Piedmont. That's not good. I mean, not smart also for them. They're basically taking away units that they could use to defend their own country. Hey, fully occupado? Hell yeah. Well, I mean, technically we didn't take Sardinia, but we don't need to. They're gonna start losing war support because we got their capital, and eventually they're gonna capitulate, and the Russians are also gonna eventually do the same. And then we're gonna have a beautiful Europe with a lot of fragmented states that we can vassalize. I mean, liberate and bring freedom to. Yay! We got minus 25 infamy generation. I love having so much innovation. The Russians still have line infantry, by the way, in 1874. Like, bruh. Cut down to size in Russia. What? Why? Does Russia have 100 infamy? Chat, did you notice this? I didn't even notice they had they got 113 infamy? Why? How did they get 113 infamy? They don't. I'm genuinely confused. I have no clue how they got that much infamy. Dude, literally the First World War is happening here. Look it up. Russia against Britain, US, and France. That is exactly what happened in the First World War, right, chat? That's exactly what happened, right? I'm pretty sure. Hey, yo, Sardinia. Ba-bum-ba-dum-bum. To improve with them, we really want to annex them whenever we decide to form European Union. Look at the Russians already losing war support. So freaking crazy because we got all the war targets actually. Come on, Russia, liberate the world. Hey yo, look at that. Look how beautiful, guys. Check out how beautiful the borders are. This is exactly what Germany is gonna look like after it's exactly freedom. It's the world is free again. Now I could technically add them to my power block without attacking them, to be fair. Question is, chat, I'll let you decide. Do you want me to add them diplomatically to the power block and not attack them? All right, well, chat is absolute warmongers. They all want to puppet everything, so we're gonna puppet. Oh my god, this is dangerous. We have a massive shortage of fine arts, chat. We have a massive shortage of fine arts. Quickly. We need one more level of law enforcement, and then we got most of our institutions maxed out, boys. Historic 1875 bullying of natives by Germany. Historic, guys. All right, boys, so to put things into contrast, in just 15 years, we went to basically double everything. We got 1,500 construction sectors. We have an absolutely busting economy, 1.22 million on very low taxation. Our standard of living is increasing massively. We are by far the most insane GDP-wise economy. We started spreading our wings around the rest of the world, and I am, of course, going to be puppeting Eastern Europe. Curious to see what the English are going to be doing with the Russians after this war. Actually, well, they don't really have many war goals, to be fair, so I don't even think anything's going to happen. It's basically Russia's going to get some devastation and lose some pops in these areas, essentially, and that's pretty much it. Population-wise, we're up to 95 mil, and that's primarily from just immigration and growing, not from actually taking provinces. I know what some of you thinking, Ludi, why don't you just attack Qing? Again, guys, it would be very easy for me to just take Qing provinces since they only have line infantry. I got a massive fleet as well now, but then what's the point? I like to grow by growing my population through migrants, through a little bit of sneaky breaky taking lands here and there instead of just taking massive lumps of pops and resources from China, because that's just too easy in my opinion. I would get bored with that playthrough if I did that, to be fair. So Belgium is not losing Liberty Desire because they have someone supporting their independence. What I could do is I could build stuff in their country to increase their economic dependence on us, and also I could just not do anything, because if I wait for my infamy to go below 50, I'm going to lose the plus 0.25 infamy they're getting, and it's going to go down to 0.10 instead. To help out with that, we could get some extra rivals, and I'm kind of surprised that Russia is not already a rival. What is up with that? Of course, the Spanish too. I think the Swedes need to be ousted for the scumbags that they are. Okay, they gotta be ousted. Look at that. Now we got 1.4 thousand influence, so we're getting infamy decay plus 11%, which is pretty good, I'd say. We can also stop improving relations with the Swedes. That's gonna give us a little bit extra influence. 25 infamy decay, so we can lower this below 50 a little bit faster now. Oh, the Finns want me to support their independence. Hell yes, Finland. We're gonna be bestest of buds. So here's the dilemma, chat. Do we add the Dutch to the power block peacefully? We literally could do that. We could just get some extra relations with them, and eventually they will join the power block. Or should we just flat out attack them and make them a puppet? I kind of feel like I want to do the second bit, to be honest with you. Oh, the Dutch would actually like my assistance. They're willing to give me some provinces in exchange for help. They're willing to give me some islands in the Pacific. Oh, isn't that just ironic right there? Oh my god, the Portuguese are a puppet of the Spanish. What? When the hell did that happen? Damn, the Spanish been playing it pretty good. They're a major power. We really need to pass wealth voting and then maybe even census suffrage if possible, universal suffrage, because we need to oust the current governments and get the trade unions in. We're close to doing that though. They are at 12% clout, which is really not bad at all. We're getting 300,000 investment pool right now, and when we lose the loyalty of the industrialists, it's going to bring that down quite a bit, unfortunately. It's a matter of national emergency, guys, that we get some more art academies done. We do have a shortage of it. Famous Valonian art academies. Also get some new trades because we have a lot of excess. We can trade off to other countries, make them dependent on us, basically. And then we cut the trade off and we let them die off. We're not going to do that, clearly. We're a good trade port. This is the beauty about having free trade. You can do all of this. You can make a frack ton of money from all these trade routes, from selling off your excess goods. The best part is also that these trade routes can eventually grow if you have the convoys to let them grow, and if the demand for these goods is big enough in these particular markets, and you can provide it in these markets, in these countries for cheaper than they can provide it to their own people. I have not built a single sulfur mine. Why do we have so many sulfur mines? That is crazy, chat. What is going on with this? Why is there so much sulfur here? I'm gonna start damaging my relations with the Poles and with the Belarusians, because I'm gonna attack them afterwards. It's sad, man. They want to even be my ally. They're so friendly and nice. It's unfortunate. Hey, look at that. Since we're not above 50 infamy anymore, our subjects are really getting very, very loyal. Get a few more declared interests around the Indian parts, around Japan, just for providing safety to the world, of course. We basically almost finished society researches, and we have done less than half of production. That says so much. Oh god, we need to start doing production researches. Hey, our innovation cap increased a little bit, so we can get some more unis now. Let's go for proportional taxation. Yay, proportional taxation. Look at that. Literally 500,000 more we're getting now because we switched to proportional taxation, chat. That is just actually insane to me. So we got 30 million North Germans, and we're converting 15,000 people to North German per month, chat. Let that sink in, okay? Per month. And we're converting 4,000 to South German per month as well. Hungarians are getting converted. Poles, North Italians, Czechs, Romanians, Slovaks, Ukrainians, Jomamans, and everybody else. They're all getting Germanized, as I like to say. I do think it's time for us to liberate Ukraine now, guys. They're gonna get joined by the Bulgarians, from what I can tell here. Classic Ukrainian Bulgarian hug box right here. They're working together to prevent the greater good from happening, chat, from spreading democracy and freedom to the eastern parts of Europe and Balkans. They're the bad guys. We're the good guys, okay? We're clearly the good guys here. Come on. We just want to make their places better. That's it. Chat, I'm gonna need your help. 23 per 79. Does that put us over 100? I think it does. Oh no. No. You know what I'm gonna do though? I'm gonna ban slavery in Bulgaria because I'm just such a nice guy. And I'm gonna recruit all my conscripts in this particular main army from the Balkans. Only reason I'm doing this, chat, is because these clearly are better soldiers, okay? It's not because I'm trying to get rid of these particular pops. It's totally not why I'm doing this, chat. Come on. Don't even think that's why, because that's not true, okay? If I literally waited for a year more, we could have puppeted Bulgaria too. But you know what? It's fine. I just want the Ukraine, and we can get Bulgaria later. My next priority is going to be Poland, and not even Bulgaria. I want to get Belarus and Poland. Belarus is only 10 infamy, so that's very, very easy right now. I want to get them before it increases in infamy, getting Belarus as well. Come on, Bulgarians. You know you want to give up, you little schnitzeldorfs. Chat knows what schnitzeldorf means, right? I'm just saying these words on YouTube because I don't want to get, you know, in trouble for saying bad words. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Hey, we did good for the Bulgarians. We banned slavery there. We're actually the good guys, Come on. Now we're going to improve relations with our brand new Schnitzeldorf. Look at that. See? I was right. 10 infamy to get Belarus right now, which is crazy, bro. That being said, I think I'm going to do a little cheeky war against the Russians. Do I need to do this war? No. Do I just want to bully the Russians? Yes. Yes, pretty much. So, Baltics, you're not free. You're just under new management. We're also going to go for Russian South Livonia alongside Russian war reparations. And we're going to humiliate them, I guess, too. Might as well. All right, so we got our 5th, 6th company, whatever this is. It's going to be the Silesia Premium Munitions, which gives minus 10% cost for military goods alongside all the other bonuses. That means we now have 4 companies in Silesia. We got Silesia Premium, we got Skoda, we got another Silesia Premium, and another Silesia Premium. We have a lot of Silesia Premiums apparently in our country. If somebody takes Silesia, it is literally Jover for us. We're going to go up to palladium taxation during this war with the Russian Empire. And against our little puppet of Moldova, which apparently is trying to get its independence in this war, but it's not gonna happen, buddy boy. Oh, we actually got 300 mil GDP. You didn't even tell me, chat. When did we get to 300 mil? That's a big landmark, guys. Come on. Also gonna get a lot of wheat farms in the Balkans, because there's so many pops we have here that we just need to give jobs to, and we also need a lot of food, so it kind of is the perfect area to start building a lot of farms, right? Dude, Russia backed up against me? What the shit, man? That's kind of unfortunate, because I really wanted to take this province too. If I knew they're gonna back up, I would have added more shit, to be fair. We need to make their economic dependence on us a lot higher. So let's say 5 farms in each state for now, and we can also build some logging camps. We need wood, and they have areas we can build wood in. So that literally fixes all of our situation, and then they're gonna start getting more and more liberty to desire reduction, so everything is perfect in paradise, right? By paradise, I mean the Baltics, so not really paradise, more like Tartarus. Oh, the French Empire went down the Napoleonic path. Ooh, buddy boy, that is not gonna be good for you. I'm telling you right now. This is peak gameplay right here, guys. 243 German battalions against 1 native. That is crazy. That is actually crazy. We have lost 0 dead. We killed all of them. We killed every single last one of them. How is this inconclusive? What? What the hell? I cannot believe the AI actually formed the Durrani Empire. This is by far the very first time I've seen it happen. By AI, guys. Never seen this AI do before at all. Also upgrade all of our ships to monitors, and since we're doing that, we can change all of our military shipyards to do steamships now as consequence. The age of oil is here finally, guys. Officially confirmed 100% it is here. Look at that. We're gonna get 10 oil rigs in Hanover, and then after we finish building those, we can switch over to oil production for the food industries. We can do vacuum packing, which requires a little bit of oil. Oh my god, we can change porcelain and glass, and we would get an extra 40,000 in income just from those 2 consumption tax changes. That is insane. Obvious, chat, we're not a min-maxer. We got freaking 17 million in gold reserves, and we haven't increased our construction sectors in quite a few years. Primarily because I forgot, but I'm gonna come up with some excuse and say because there's really a reason. It's not just because I'm a Pepega, guys, clearly. Tibetan expedition. It's time to do the Tibetan expedition, guys. Little do you know, but this Tibetan expedition can lead to us getting Tibet for free. Alright, so with census suffrage, we do lose quite a bit of authority, unfortunately, but we're gonna see a steep change in our political landscape, and we're gonna see the trade unions get even more power, I suspect. Somebody also asked me how to get more authority if you're a republic and you have legislation that takes away authority. Another easy way to do that I like to do personally is get this particular principle, police coordination. Now, when you upgrade it to level 3, it gives 50 authority per level. What that means is that you get 250 authority from this principle alongside the other benefits. So we end up with 250 authority. We lower political movement activism by 25. That means 25% less chance of getting rebellions in your country. Let's check standard of living. We're 15.5 and followed afterwards by the Belgians, which by the way are our subject, okay, and the Dutch, and the British are 13.5. So I'd say we're pretty freaking good with standard of living, boyos. Look at that. Qing is 5.9. What the hell, man? So I'm gonna start getting new power plants in every state, with the idea behind it being that we will start switching our urban centers first to use the power plants. So we're gonna use the electric production method for the urban centers, and then we start using more and more once we unlock better technologies that use power plants that use electricity in essence. We literally could supply arms to the entire freaking planet and let them depend on our arms import. So that way they don't grow their domestic products, and when they go to war with us, we cancel the freaking arms export. They die. Okay, hold on a second. What you're telling me is that I could get the Japanese East Micronesian islands, which historically at some point belonged to Germany, in exchange for helping them in their little revolt. Japan and Germania together forever. Look at that. Kingdom of Heaven getting papal reaction revolt. Ooh, how did I not get involved in that one? That would have been juicy one too. I do have a plan which involves Germany and Italy, okay, and Japan. I'm not gonna divulge too much about this plan, but just hear me out. It's a pretty cool plan. You'll see what I'm talking about later. Are we gonna end up in time to save our Japanese brethren? That's the real question. Are we gonna end up here in the nick of time? Hey, we got electric bureaucrats, guys. I'm gonna go colonial resettlement, right? Almost all the coastlines are colonized, but we do have the inner part of Africa that's not yet colonized, and we have a big chunk in the south here that we can make use of and start properly colonizing into the central bits of Africa. If we go for any type of colonial affairs, we can switch our principal to the colonial offices, which gives minus 25 infamy generation when we attack unrecognized nations, and we're going to attack a lot of unrecognized nations for 25% cheaper once we reach level 5 institution for that colonial affair. 400,020 for the investment pool and 25 million gold reserves. We're doing pretty good, I'd say, economically. It's time for us to actually start building more construction sectors, to be fair. We have really not been min-maxing as much as we should have. Chat mentioned need to build some more ships. I genuinely forgot to build ships, not gonna lie, and also get more units. But let's say get a good 10 extra ships for now, bring it up at the top of the queue, and let's say get a new army composition of 100 infantry, 100 artillery. I guess keep 5 cavalry, so we can do 105 infantry, 100 artillery, and 5 cavalry. Cavalry doesn't really make much of a difference, to be fair. It's mostly about artillery for the fighting, but this is not multiplayer, so you don't need to min-max the shit out of the game because the AI is not gonna know the meta for army composition anyway. So malaria prevention is going to help us really outscale the British in getting the central parts of Africa. Behavioralism is also going to get us more maneuvers per diplomatic play, as well as lower bureaucracy population cost multiplier, which means we get more bureaucracy, which gives more construction efficiency up to 10%. That's going to be the queue, and then after we can start with the 4th-tier production and actually start massively producing everything, because we're going to be able to use electric production methods in essence. So it's time for us to attack Belarus. Afterwards, we're gonna do Poland, and that's pretty much the entirety of our extension into Eastern Europe, at least for now. We got total separation as well. That's pretty awesome. And it looks like yet another British subject would like us to support their independence. I'm down for that. I think it's also high time we start getting our colonial exploitation so we can better make use of Africa, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that being said, we're trying to keep it below 50 infamy, so our many subjects are just basically gonna not rebel, and we're gonna have an easier time keeping them in check. What the hell is happening here? Actually, I just noticed this. This seems like a fire. What is going on here? Is that devastation? They have 2.6 million people starving in Warsaw for some reason. That is crazy to me. I don't know why. Don't even want to bother with it though. We also started building up our power block statues in every single province. They are pretty expensive usually, which is why I leave them for later in the campaign. They're not as useful, especially early in the campaign, in my opinion. And there you go. We got Belarus. Let's see how much infamy we're gonna need for the Poles. 32 infamy for Poland? Why? That makes no sense, man. They only have 6 million population and 2 million GDP. Literally no reason why Poland should be that expensive. Come on. Another thing we started doing is building power plants, and we're going to continue to expand with automatic expansion of power plants. I think I have one in each state. So the reason I did that is so that I can actually start changing production methods to use more electric production methods for my buildings. I have some technologies that allow me to use that. So for example, we're going to go first off and change to the arcades, and then after that also electric street lights, and just basically leave it as that for now. Once we have enough electricity to support those two production methods, we can also switch over to the electric sawmills, because we are having a little bit of a shortage of wood, but we don't have enough electricity to make up for that shortage right now. Actually, I should probably just queue up a few regular logging camps for now, I guess. Might as well just max out the logging camps we have in our country. We have 450,000 peasants in Transdanubia, which I also intend on turning into glassworks employees, since I queued up 50 glassworks in here, and we also have it on prioritizing gas production, so we have enough our construction sectors, which have been growing quite a little bit in recent years. Looks like the Kingdom of Heaven has also become Italy, which tells me that they've moved away from their theocratic origins. They are in fact now a monarchy like everybody else is. Dominion of India has surprisingly survived up until 1894. 90% of my games I've seen the Dominion of India fall down and tumble, but for some reason they actually managed to hold on to their lands, which is a little bit annoying because I was kind of hoping to go into India. This makes it a lot more difficult though, so I probably will instead be subjugating the Southeast Asian parts. Japan is also doing pretty good. They currently have not great relations with us, no, so we might, once we have enough lowered infamy, attack them and make them a puppet too. And speaking of, our power blocks principles are as following: advanced research, police coordination, and we switched over to food standardization to increase our standard of living and lower the mortality overall, which means we would get more of our pops grow. Army-wise, we have 4 main armies of 60 infantry, 60 shrapnel artillery right now, and a 5th one, which we're going to have also 60-60 eventually. And we're also in an intense process of switching over to electric power plants. So basically what we're doing is we're switching our production methods to electrical production methods, which free up the population. So say, for example, here we have 11 million pops, but no people looking for work because everybody is employed, right? So that's 49 million GDP just in Schlesien alone. Now, if we were to say switch over to assembly lines, that would free up 62,000 pops. But look at that. We need an input of 500 electricity, which we would not have. So we need to make sure we build more electrical power plants here to make that switch to that particular production method, which would free up the pops and just make this state even more overpowered. GDP wise, we are number 1 by far. Second after us is Ching with 147, India with 113, and the US, actually no, Great Britain and France is before the US actually. We also can do the Tibetan expedition. Let's see what happens if we do Tibetan expedition. If we play our cards right, we might actually be able to transfer Tibet as a subject of ours from Qing. And we can get 6k progress for the defense in depth technology. Okay, I'll take that. I don't mind the extra mortality for a few years. It's worth it. Look how fast we're also colonizing here. We're basically getting 1 province in 60 days more or less, which is crazy to think about. This area in the center especially is going to have a lot of rubber for us. I think I'm just going to absolutely click every single oil rig that I possibly can have, as oil is already becoming a massive bottleneck for me. Look at that, 1,000 reduction, and we just started switching over to oil-based production methods. And we also have a lot of infrastructure issues, so let's go ahead and fix that, because that can actually be very deadly for us. I really cannot believe I already have 100 extra in the queue, considering I've got 3,000 construction, and we still have shortage of things. That is just wild. I'm also going to be tempering with my subjects a little bit here and see what revolutions they might potentially have, and try and avert that by switching and forcing them to get some legislation done. Like, for example, homesteading would really benefit Argentina, right? Now, we failed passing universal suffrage, which really hurts us because right now our government is pretty bad, but honestly, most of that is because of we are still a monarchy. So I'm actually thinking of switching to a parliamentary republic. We have a lot of support for this. So switching to this will help us get universal suffrage a little bit easier, I think, afterwards, and just switching to a generally more democratic system. I love how because of our merger essentially with Austria-Hungary, we're able to get a lot of the companies that they had as well. So we could get Mavag here, which is a really underrated company actually, that gives railway throughput as well as tooling and engine or motor industries it affects. We also have Manfred Weiss Steel and Metal Works, which affects the war machine industry, which we're gonna have in a few moments, as well as the steel mills, gives offense and technology spread for military. Then there's also the Galician Carpathian Petroleum Company that gives tooling work throughput as well as railway throughput, and of course oil rigs. Maybe another one that we might need for World War II, although World War I has yet to begin, with the submarine offense. Subtle. I see what you did there, Paradox. I see you. You know what though? I'm gonna go for the birth rate plus 5%. Hear me out. I really want to see how much more we can increase our birth rate. So that particular company is definitely gonna come in handy. Okay, this is terrifying. We're actually gaining money on very low taxation. Maybe I can just remove some taxes, I guess. I've also decided that I want to start colonizing from the western parts of Congo too. So what I'm doing is I'm navally invading Congo itself, conquering Congo, and that's going to let me colonize the lower Congo area and march into this area from 2 sides, helping me get more colonial land before the French and the British, which are seriously colonizing the schnapps out of South Africa as it stands. Literally trench infantry against, what is this, irregulars? And a few line infantry as well in their defense, okay? Come on. But yeah, this is right here the exact way that the colonization of Africa went. Pretty much one-on-one with how it went. There we go. We got our entrance. Now let's colonize Ishki as Gibidi. So I switched over to the telephone switchboard, right? Which input, surprisingly enough, telephones as well as paper, and it made a lot of extra taxation capacity. However, that also means we now are losing 1 million. Our gold reserves are going to be gone in just 17 weeks. weeks. That is not good. So we're gonna have to switch it over. Go back to standardized filing cabinets and only switch a little bit of this to telephone switchboard, because apparently we overkilled it. Sometimes you can overdo it with your PMs if your country's not ready for it, so be careful. We're only gonna actually switch the ones that, not Transdanubia, we're gonna switch the ones where we have bureaucracy issues like Bohemia, and let's see where else, Schleswig and West Galicia. These are the only ones we're gonna switch for now. By making that switch, we still end up actually with 12,000 extra bureaucracy. That is wild. How do we have so much bureaucracy, man? I don't even know what to do with it. Like, at this point, I have all my institutions maxed out. I guess I can just get some new institutions after I switch over to a presidential republic. I mean, parliamentary republic. Oh, Canada's asking us to support their independence. That does not sound like the worst idea. That's like the 8th British subject that's asking me to support their independence. Oh my god. When did this happen? Iberia just formed. I didn't even know that Portugal got eaten by the Spanish or vice versa. I don't know how that happened. They're allied to the Italians too. That is so freaking cursed right there, brother. Well, you know what? I don't think Iberia needs their African colonies, does it? They also don't really have many big allies. They're rivals to the British and allied to the Italians. Yeah, that's like asking me to steal their colonies, really. And by steal, I mean liberate. That's what I meant. Germania rules the people with an iron fist. Oh yeah, we're a parliament now. We're an actual parliament, and we're called Germany. Wait, weren't we called Germany before? Were we the German Empire before? I cannot remember at all. What matters though is that now we can do some better legislation like cultural exclusion. Apparently we have some support for, and even more important, we can get the trade leagues into our government, which means hot diggity dong along, we can attempt again to go for universal suffrage. We actually have a much higher success chance than before now as well. So I'm confident this time it's gonna work. I'm also basically turning Ukraine into my farmland. Historically, Ukraine was known as the breadbasket of Europe, if I'm not mistaken, and we're making it the beef land of Europe in essence now, because we need a lot more meat. Same goes for the Belarusians. We're gonna get a lot more farms in Belarus, and I'm talking both actual farms, wheat farms and such, as well as lots and lots of livestock plantations. And now we reached a point where we have quite literally 13 pages of just power plants to build, because check it out, we only have 300,000 peasants left. That's right, we need to completely switch to electric production methods for our economy to continue to grow. That's how insane it is right now. And yes, I'm down to 7 infamy. I'm thinking, should I attack the Poles for 30 infamy, or instead should I just lower most of my other subjects to puppet stage by force using infamy, because it's like 6 infamy to lower Marina, for example, and so on. It's very cheap. Or use that infamy points to just grab unrecognized nations around the world, which is a lot cheaper than just grabbing Poland. I feel like Poland could just wait, right? Why did the United Baltic provinces make peace with my provinces? What? That is no bueno. Oh, that is really no bueno. And I have a truce with them too, so that means they're likely gonna get annexed by the Russians by the point that I attack them. Oh, that is so bad. I should have paid attention to the Civil War. The political makeup of the world is taking a huge turn, because apparently the former Indian domains have rebelled, and it is now Orissa in open war against the British Empire. I'm honestly not sure who's gonna win here, but surprisingly they also managed to keep all of their subjects as well. So if they do manage to win this independence war, this is gonna be a bigger power than the British Empire is. Also, we've decided it's time to teach the French a lesson, and we're gonna be taking over their 2 subject to Norway and Sweden from this war. I really hope the Norwegian radical revolt does not enforce that. Oh, that would be horrible. Granted, we might have asked for a few extra things alongside those 2 transfers, but hey, it's all in the name of freedom, all right? You be quiet right now. See, now this is exactly what I'm talking about. We got 74 offense and they got 51 defense. Of course, it does help the fact that we have better units than them, and we also got machine gunners, which give flat offense and defense bonus. We're also researching chemical weapons for peacefully resolving this conflict. Check this army out, 96 offense against the American 55 defense because of our Chadicus Maximus here. General Svetosvar Berochovega, which is a clear German name, and he's also a cocaine addict. Can this run get any more interesting? Hey boys, we got 70 advantage. The war is essentially over already. We just gotta rush for their capital. So we're gonna add this strategic objective for Paris to make this a little bit faster. Come on boys, take Zaparisicus. 80 82 against 57. I'm loving this. I'm loving seeing how overpowered our units are compared to the French armies right now. This is what World War I should have been like, in my opinion, right? Come on. And we got Paris. Okay, now let's set the strategic designation for the south, so we occupy the entirety of France. Now we've got 3 separate pockets of what's left of the French resistance in the north, south, and in the center, and we won the war. We got Norway. Oh no, we didn't get Sweden, because Sweden, of course they did. Sweden got independence, I'm assuming, from a revolution whilst we were at war with France. But I still got the infamy for Sweden despite not getting the country. I hate this game. I freaking hate this game sometimes. And I just also realized there's 2 Swedens, not even 1. There's northern Sweden, which is called Sweden, and it's allied to the French, and there's southern Sweden, which is also Sweden, and it hates the French. So what the hell happened here? I got no clue. What I do know is that South Sweden is 7 infamy, and I'm gonna be attacking it right now. Hey, I can even liberate Scania from South Sweden. Wouldn't that be just the most cancerous thing you've seen today? Hot diggity dog, everybody's gonna be universally suffering now in our country, as they should be. So to make up for that, we also need to make sure that women suffer as much as the men do, right? Well, technically universal means everybody equally suffers. Why do we even need separate women's suffrage? Do they need to suffer more? That doesn't seem fair to me. Oh, this is huge. Coal-fired power plants is exactly what we needed, guys, since we are really lacking electricity. Switching over to coal-fired plants means that we're going to be producing double the amount of electricity from the same amount of factories, but it does mean it inputs coal, so we're going to need to build some more coal mines now, which is not really much of an issue. I mean, we are the coal nation after all, right? The last monarchists, our landlords finally get rid of their monarchy-focused ideologies, or we choose not to do that. No, we're gonna definitely do that. We want to reintegrate the landlords, maybe even actually make use of them. And you know what? Ukraine comes again and saves the day, because they got 1 million pops in just these 2 states, which we can use to mine the coal mine. We're gonna need some railways for them though, so let's make sure we build at least 5 railways in each state, because they are gonna need to get that market access up. Excuse me, Persia is 6 infamy to get? Brother, why didn't you say that earlier? I actually really wanted to get Persia from a while back. We do seem to notice a much bigger amount of wars happening all of a sudden. Interesting for sure. Now, if Persia was smart, they would in fact back down. And look, the nation that sprang out of a revolt has another revolt. Can we get 3 Swedens in the house? Wait, what the hell? Ottoman Empire, US. US wants to conquer Tunis? Whoa. There, buddy. That is not great. It seems like Iberia and France is helping the Ottomans, so I don't know how that's gonna turn out, because the US is definitely very strong and France has actually been weakened. I don't know by who, but let's just say they've been weakened. Oh, come on, Persia. I really have to take the 5 minutes I need to actually invade you now. Actually, brother, that's so cringe. Oh, boys, this is amazing. We got Art Nouveau. This is a unique event that can happen later in the campaign where your population becomes obsessed with the fine arts. So that means, oh no, that means we might not have enough art academies. This might be disastrous for us. It's okay. I'm sure we're gonna get a very special painter that's gonna help us make as much art as we need to appease the people. Compared to the French war, this is literally like stealing kid from a candy, you know what I mean? And by diplomatically using the interaction, we managed to get Moldova, Ukraine, and Belarus as puppet level without them even being rebellious anymore. In fact, Moldova, look at this. Minus 19 from economic dependence alone is freaking huge. Same goes for Belgium and everybody else here. Everybody is essentially loyal, with the obvious exception of the Swedes, because why would they ever be loyal, right? Look at that. 36 from clout of political interest groups in government. That is disgusting. Actually disgusting. I'm even funding the freaking groups and it's not doing anything. Like, come on. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna build a ton of stuff in their area so they become more loyal to me from the economic dependence that they're gonna be getting. To max out their glass works and iron mines and everything else here, just get all of them possibly built. And it looks like we've discovered the oil veins in Wallachia, so we're maxing out that stuff. Look at this. We are already short of 2,600 oil despite producing 23,000. The next producer after us is our subject, Wallachia and Chile, and then 4th after that is Australia and Canada, the only non-German Empire bloc nations that are also producing oil. Can I just point out that we need more oil in this game? Can we have the option of getting synthetic oil refineries, please, Paradox? That would be awesome. Thank you. As a late game tech, of course. Now, switching over to tractor production method gave us back roughly around 500,000 pops, which is really, really good for us. But it did increase our demand for engines. That being said, though, we do have still a lot of engines, so we're not in any way, shape, or form missing engines. We do have some shortages, though. Basic goods such as sugar, a little bit of glass, a little bit of silk. We're gonna have to focus on that for now. We got a journal entry done as well from doing the modernization or mechanization of farming, for that matter. We're also going to be able to import some of these goods, but not too many. Reality is, at this point in the campaign, the AI is just not smart enough to produce massive amounts of whatever we need as the player, so we just have to make it ourselves. And yes, in case you're wondering, I decided it's time to make the Poles an integral part of Central Europe, as I like to call it. And that 1.7k shortage of silk is going to be easily fixed by building silk plantations in Persia, which also means that we're going to get the Persians very much so loyal, because they're going to have massive economic dependence on us after this. Now we're getting one province in 24 days in Africa, which is crazy. Now I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, why does Russia still have so much land? It's time to fragment them even more, isn't it? Definitely agree with that. I could have taken significantly more, but the Russians are fearful, so there's a very high likelihood that they're going to back down, in which case at least I get Finland as a primary demand. I get the liberation of the Far East and the liberation of Don Cossack Host, which is right next to Ukraine, so I can puppet that as well afterwards. Freaking hell, man, I knew they're gonna back down. That's the thing, right? Like, late game, if you get too strong, the AI gets so scared of you that they just back down every freaking 5 seconds. So now when the truce is over, we can make Don Cossack a puppet, but I would have loved to make more than just Don Cossack a puppet, and would have loved to see Yakutia independent and so on. So yeah, I guess it's gonna be a bit of a slow grind with the Russians. At least though, we got the Finns, so that's something. That's a little bit of extra pops. They don't have too much pops, but they got quality pops, if you know what I'm saying here. 500,000 absolute chat lords. Why has their population been going down continuously since the mid 1860s? That's the real question. What was happening in Finland that was draining their pop so much? Time for another attempt of getting Tibet as our subject from the Tibetan expedition. We failed the last time, unfortunately. We were so close to getting cultural exclusion, and it failed on the last hit. Dude, I hate when that happens so much. I'll try again in a while for cultural exclusion. To get multiculturalism, I think I'm just gonna have to attract some agitators that promote multiculturalism. But right now, I don't know why, but most of the agitators are either radicals or Democrats. Guys, want to see something really ridiculous? So right now, Qing has got 181 million GDP. Orissa is right after that, third spot with 114, and then the US and so on. Look at my state of Schleswig, 111, and then Bohemia's got 147. So the state of Bohemia has more than the third state in the world by GDP. That is actually my state. These two states alone are basically the third and fourth greatest power. What the schnapps, man? That is just wild. And I've basically been spending the last half hour just fighting my subjects' rebellions. My subjects get rebels every 5 seconds, apparently, because that's normal in the late part of the campaign. It is annoying as schnapp, surprisingly normal. Now, for the next target, guys, I'm not going to attack Bulgaria, which is 21 infamy right now. Instead, I'm going to attack the Ottomans, which is 27 infamy, because they're an unrecognized nation, right? But that being said, it means we have to fight the French and the Bulgarians again, which I'm kind of okay with, because I'm going to be kicking some French ass again, and that's always going to be fun, right? Come on. No, seriously, it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, you saw what I'm trying to pass? Oh, skibbity bum bum ba-dum bum bum. Yeah, that's right, boys. We're not Germany anymore. We are the would we even be called the Third Reich? Wouldn't it be the First Reich technically? Yeah, baby, we're going fascist. That's right, we are now a fascist nation, okay? You happy now? It's only one dictatorial republic. The German people have spoken. This is what they want. I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired. We're going full Germany, okay? We're going full 100% Germany, right? Fascist Germany, best Germany, everybody knows. Except we're gonna be good fascist Germany. We're not gonna do what the actual fascists did, okay? We're gonna be nice to people. We're gonna be a trade republic fascist. No, but that being said, look at this, guys. 200 authority. Oh, I love that. Now imagine if we were to go command economy fascist. That would be interesting, wouldn't it, guys? 75% radical reduction from nationalization, 25% authority, and most importantly, everything that's privatized becomes national. We could really cheese the shit out of this if we really wanted to. Before that, I'm gonna go for protected speech. We are fascist, but we do protect speech still. Come on, just common knowledge. Oh, Brandenburg gets railway throughput, 25 permanent, and we can get some loyalist engineers or some... I'm gonna go for the loyalist, thank you very much. And we just got access to arch welding technology, or arc welding technology, which means that we now can switch over our construction sectors to the arc welding, which means we get an extra 6,000 construction. That is absolutely insane. That is actually freaking insane. So we ended up with 7,136 construction. We obviously cannot switch all of them because some areas do not have power plants around Africa mostly. Check our shortages. It's oil, man. It's again freaking oil, the shortage. I'm tired of oil being my main shortage. Can we just spam some oil deposits, Paradox, please? Come on. Also, if we win this war, and we will win this war, we're gonna see a brand new world with most of the French possessions in Africa being actually independent. We are, of course, gonna primarily focus on the French, so we piece them out quickly, and then we just get rid of skibbity-boo, skibbity-bay Ottomans here. Oh, actually, one army apparently is enough to crush the Ottoman soul. Love to see that. Absolutely love to see it. I'm not even able to import enough coffee for how much coffee my people want. I don't know why, but they just freaking love coffee for some reason. You would expect Germans to love wine more than coffee and beer, but there's no beer in the game, so that makes sense, I guess. Oh, I just realized I forgot to build stuff in Poland. What does Poland have? How much population they got? They got 2.4 million, 300 people unemployed. My brother, you guys need to get some jobs. I'm talking coal mines, logging camps, all the good jobs I'm gonna give you boys. Lead mines. I'm basically gonna make Poland my little open mine. And you know what else I'm gonna mix into that? Railways. I'm gonna modernize Poland too. See, I'm such a great guy to the Polish people. Hell, I'm even gonna do power plants in Poland. I'm gonna make them an industrial Schnitzeldorf. Oh boy, France getting some interesting colors above it here, isn't it? Yeah. To say the what now? Ireland. Since when is Ireland a thing? What? When did Ireland break free? Okay, this is very, very interesting. And we also have a Highlands uprising. Britain really lost control of everything, didn't they? That is insane. Like, they lost control of India. They lost control of most of their colonies. They only have like Canada and Australia and South Africa. That's it. Oh, France. You really think you can hold on to your colonies, huh, there, buddy boy? Well, you cannot. That's for sure. They're gonna be called Middle Africa for no reason whatsoever in a few moments. First, we gotta give them a bit of a taste of independence to fool them into thinking they're actually gonna have a say in things of the world. Oh, and look at this, guys. We got 58 million loyalists and only 2 million radicals because we've been passing laws that our people are demanding, and by our people, I really mean the trade unions and the rural folks. So it's best we don't ask any questions right now, because our communists, our fascists kind of smell like communists a little tiny bit. It was protected speech, of course. We will make sure that speech is protected in our country, clearly. It's also increase our institution levels. I kind of forgot to do that. Nothing says, obviously, protected speech as well as a fascist single-party state, clearly. Hell, I could even make this an ethno-state if I really wanted to, but clearly I don't want to do that. What does this button do, I wonder? Oh, I misclicked. Oh, snaps. Oh, I misclicked that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, let's see what happens now. And there you have it. The French have liberated Algeria. Senegal is no longer French Senegal. It's just Senegal. Same goes for Congo. I need to refresh for the color change? No, actually, these are the colors they have. Okay, cool. We indeed need to do some naval invasions into Constantinople. Look at my trade companies too. Look at this. All of them have such high prosperity. I love to see that. Because we have the technology, naval penalty does not affect our units anymore, so we can do naval invasions with one ship if we really wanted to as well. Doesn't matter the size of our fleets anymore. Command economy progresses by one phase. Okay. If that's what the people want, you know. Hey guys, check this out. We have Sigmund Freud as our agitator. Wow. Oh wait, he's Ashkenazi is Jewish? I didn't know that. Interesting. There you go. We've got the Ottomans now as our protectorate as well. Gonna be improving with them a little bit. And I am eyeing up the Egyptians, which can also become a protectorate for just 21 infamy. That's gonna be the next nation we attack once we lose a little bit of infamy. So for now, again, time to just min-max our population here, change some more production methods, get some more pops in the process from that. And now with the Ottomans in our particular power block, we also can start massively building stuff in their country. They have a lot of population. They have a lot of buildings they have yet to build. So we can just take advantage and just massively develop their country in the process, making them insanely dependent on us. They have, say, for example, not only fish, but they've got tobacco, they've got tea. We really have a huge shortage of tea. So we could say, for example, build massive amounts of tea plantations. 3,000 tea lacking. That is just wild. Almost like we're not even Germans. It's like we're the British here, isn't it? Oh my god, the sovereign is freaking huge. I love this, man. This is so freaking cool to see on the map. So we've also got the last production method for the mines, which is the diesel pumps. Now, this obviously extracts significantly more of these particular goods, but the problem is that it inputs oil. As you probably figured out, oil is an issue. So reality is that in the late game, despite having this production method, you're not going to use it because you're just not going to have the oil, which once again makes me say, Paradox, please add more oil refineries, more oil veins, whatever they're called. Add them, please. Come on. We have a literal oil field problem here. Holy mother of God. Kharkiv's got 4 million pops. That is crazy, dude. Wait, what? Britain lost control over the Zanzibar, Tanzania area. What the hell is this? A native nation just popped out. Bemba. Okay, you know what, Bemba? I think it's time you reintegrate yourself into an actual nation. And I know that I said I'm gonna wait until Egypt, but Egypt can go next because Bemba might actually get attacked by the British again. I don't want that to happen because Bemba is basically where most... Oh, another one, Kikuyu. What the hell happened to the British, man? They really lost a lot of lands, didn't they? In any case, this is a lot of rubber in this area and exotic goods that I like to get my hands on now. I feel like we could really just fix all of our issues if I was to attack a Chinese province and just take, say, I don't know, Beijing. That's such a cheese though, man. Like, I feel like it's the biggest cheese ever, just getting basically free pop from China, isn't it? What the hell is this? Guangdong Rebellion. And they're actually independent? They won against Joseon? Oh my god, this is North Korea. Holy shit. Bro, okay, I'm not saying I'm gonna make them my subject, but that would be pretty funny, wouldn't it? Let's also check where we have potential for oil to spawn, and let's maybe direct our attention toward those areas, such as this. This would be a really important area for me to take right now. 5.6 thousand Nezh. I am so attacking that. Nezh is a Russian protectorate, but look at this face. Is this the face of someone who gives a single schnapps about a Russian protectorate? Come on, boys, come on. And whilst we're back at this, we're of course gonna add more goals, like the liberation of Lithuania, the returning of my state of Livonia, liberation of Georgia too. We're gonna basically liberate all of the land. I just hope that they don't back down again, but if nobody joins their side, they likely will back down, which kind of sucks because I do expect no one joins their side. They've basically only got rivals right now, so they're just role-playing Russia pretty much. Oh, classic. Najd has a revolt whilst this is happening, so maybe I enforce my demands, but Najd just becomes independent by the time that I enforce them, like it happened with Sweden. That would be the cherry on top, really. Oh, Mexico sided with Russia. Maybe they don't back down. They do not back down. They still have minus 76 fearful. They are so backing down, aren't they? Yeah, they backed down, didn't they? 100% they backed down. Yes, they did. We got Nezh. Well, whatever the case, now we're going to be spamming the oil rigs because we need as much oil as possible, and hopefully we can dismantle these disgusting little other non-oil buildings once we have command economy. Holy shit, boys. We just got command economy. Oh, this changes everything right now. This really changes everything. We are above the company limit, but we're not going to disband any of the companies. This is insane. We literally have 16 pages of construction. Usually I give up around 5,000 construction because I get bored of it, and it seems like I did manage to get the Don Cossacks as a tributary of mine via the Ottomans. I don't know when this happened, but the Ottomans managed to make them a tributary, which means that when I make the Ottomans a puppet, they will become a protectorate of mine. That's quite literally like 20 infamy I avoided taking. We also can upgrade now to squad infantry, which is a massive upgrade compared to the trench infantry. It's literally flat out 10 extra offense and defense, and it has a radio input, so it gives more of a purpose to our radio production. I'm sorry, we have 126 art academies in Bohemia. What? And we also have 103 factories, power plants better yet, and we're still in need of more. One little cool thing I like about having command economy is that we can just nationalize all of these privately owned buildings here. Well, would you look at that? We got more oil discovered in Basra, my favorite good in this game right now. Boys, I think you kind of expected this, but I could not stop myself. I had to do it. I formed Communist Germany. I know we were fascist there for a second, but then I thought, you know what will be even cooler than this? Switching to the unions, the socialist unions. That's right. And we've remodeled a little bit Europe. We've consolidated our hold over our subjects. We've also made quite a few extra African subjects. Now, by releasing half of Africa, I did lose like 400 million GDP, but that's not a problem because check it out. Bohemia has 257 million GDP alone. It's got 30 million population in Bohemia, and we're basically producing everything here. We've got 160 power plants, and we still need more power. We probably want to switch over to oil plant, but let's face it, we don't really have any oil, so yeah. To put this into perspective, Bohemia has more GDP than Qing has, more than the US, more than Orissa, and everybody else around. Just one state has more than them. Population-wise, we also lost 25 million by releasing the African holdings and a few other. I've even given my vassals in Arabia, the Arabian lands. But even so, we've got 100 million of primary pops right here, which is crazy. We haven't even switched to per graduated taxation. I think it's actually better for us right now staying on proportional. I was thinking actually of switching to corporate state, but not in this run, obviously, maybe in a future run, just to see what that looks like and what kind of name change we get and stuff. That would be cool. Now, economy wise, we are getting 8 million in revenue, and on very high, we would be going up to 15 million. And that's just, I mean, guys, let's be honest here. I got 434 million gold reserve. I've been wasting my time here. I haven't even built any more construction sectors. I've actually been watching Dexter again on my second monitor because I'm bored to death, man. I've literally been just crushing every single nation. There's no challenge. Only challenge is keeping it below 50 infamy, basically. And whenever I get a little bit of extra pops, what happens is I just instantly put them to work. I'm honestly thinking to just annex China so I get the pops to snowball like freaking insane. Really, I'm so close to annexing China right now. I mean, that is 400 million peeps we can really put to work. Hell, I'm even close to releasing all the possible nations I can possibly release just to meme it. Actually, I am also curious to see what exactly we're going to be called once we form Central Germany. So let's go. A glorious union indeed. Oh, the French proletariat cry for liberation. Yes, they do. Yes, they freaking do. All right, so we are the pan-European market, and this is the Union of People's Republics. And now we skipped over a few more years. We are in the 1st of January 1936. We've got 12,000 construction, and I'll be honest, guys, I really have just been half-assing the last 10 years because I'm just so freaking overpowered, and at this point, it's really just about microing everything instead of it being an actual challenge. We got 800 million reserves. Let that sink in. I've been playing this so bad, I should have 0 reserves. I could probably get 50,000 construction and I would still be fine. Now, we also managed to switch to multiculturalism. It was a bit of a pain, but switching over to multiculturalism allowed us to get a lot of different pops, which is why we have a lot of migrants. I mean, check this migration map out here. We got so many migration targets from India, from basically less fortunate areas of the world, let's say. We actually have more than the Americans, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, it helped that I switched my police principle back to the freedom of movement principle. I also wiped out the Belgians, the Dutch, and the Bosnians because I just like to have pretty borders. Army-wise, we have a fully modern army with the mechanized infantry that have 60 and 50 offense defense, and heavy tanks which have 70 offense, 35 defense, 25% kill rate, and morale damage plus 15 as well. I genuinely just started building this so I give a purpose to my war machine industry, which is still not productive. I feel like maybe I built a little bit too many war machine industries and I need to get more units, but it is the end of the campaign, so pointless doing that now. Revenue wise, we're on 10 million on very low right now. No consumption taxes, government wages, military wages on very high. We're losing a little bit of taxes around the country, but I just cannot be bothered to build any more government administration buildings. And actual GDP, despite only having 1.8 billion, the reality is is that the third biggest and sixth biggest are the pan-European Niger and the pan-European Congo. They're over here. I don't know why with this particular patch there's a bug where I cannot actually filter this stuff. Pretty annoying. I don't know if you guys have been having that bug. But yeah, I've tried my best to keep below 50 infamy. We went up to like 70 something at one point. And yes, I did not take Montenegro. Screw Montenegro. It's like 4 or 5 infamy for just that little schnappeldoop of a province. I cannot be bothered. I also managed to merge both Swedens into one, so now we have a pretty nice Northern European border. Also, like last year I had to increase the autonomy level of Denmark because they were getting super disloyal because I had very high infamy, and yeah, it's just everyone supporting the independence of Denmark for some reason, even though they would not be able to fight against me if I actually did annex Denmark, right? Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this run. I had a lot of fun actually, and despite the last few years being more of a grind than anything else, I learned a lot about the game myself, and I hope you guys did too. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and sub. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.